Welcome, man. Come live. Welcome to the Days Talk Live talk show featuring none other than the legendary motorcycle drag racer himself, Mr. Rickey Gadson. Today we will have the pleasure of discussing his storied career and gaining insight to the world of motorcycle drag racing. Gadson has set records on the track and has become a revered icon in the sport of motorcycle drag racing. Whether you're a seasoned racer or just a fan of this adrenaline-fueled world of motorsports, this conversation promises to be one of you won't want to miss. So sit tight, hold on tight, and get ready for an exhilarating ride with the man himself, Rickey Gadson. What do you think about this, boss man? We got a legend about to come on tonight, man. What do you say there?
Man, I can't wait to hear from him, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready to bring him on. You know he ready. So let's get to it, man, because he got so much to talk about. Let's get him on.
Well, look here. Before we get ready to go off, I want to tell everybody, we want to say thank you to our sponsors once again for holding it down for us. You know, we really appreciate y'all support. It means the world to us, to the world of motorcycle drag racing. There's nothing better than having our partners that support us. We support you back to be on board with us, and we continue to bring you these Man Cup lives. Let you continue to meet the people that's behind these exciting world racing. Don't forget, there ain't nothing better than coming to these events. We have that MTC Spring Fling gonna be coming up April the 14th through the 16th at South Georgia Motorsport Park. Like I said, make sure you get your tickets. We'll be right back with the man himself, Rickey Gadson.
If you're a fan of racing, then you'll love the Man Cup Motorcycle Drag Racing Series. These guys are going full speed ahead at 150 plus miles per hour on two wheels, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. If you're ever looking for an adrenaline rush, then you don't want to miss this. The first race starts April 14th through the 16th in Adel, Georgia at the South Georgia Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now at racemancup.com. See you there.
All right, there we go. Like I promised, we got the man in the house himself, Mr. Rickey G, Rickey Gadson. What do you know, guy? How you doing up there?
What's up, Hollywood? What's up, boss man?
What's up? What's up, brother?
You not hear me?
I hear
Yeah, I hear
loud and
you.
clear on my side.
You cool. Go ahead. You all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you got going on up there, Mr. Rickey? How you doing up there? Were you in Virginia, Maryland? Where you at, man? You be all over the place. I see you in Florida one weekend, the next weekend you ain't no telling where you be, boy. You move around that motorcycle game.
Literally, I just got home from Daytona. I went from Daytona to Atlanta to film my TV show, and we got done filming at 1 o'clock last night. Drove straight from Atlanta to Virginia. Got here at 9 o'clock this morning, and I ain't been asleep yet.
Oh man! So what's the TV show that you filming? Is it something that you can discuss? I mean, people can go out there and watch that as well. You know, because we are very honored to have you on. You know, the Man Cup Live, man. It's an honor to have you on here. You know, you've been a consummate professional of the sport for so long. What you got going on in those other venues, man? Let us know a little bit about that.
Well, hey Hollywood, I'm really happy to say that I've been on. I'm a host of a TV show called Caffeine and Octane. We were on NBC Sports for like 3 or 4 seasons. This is actually our 7th season, and anybody who knows anything about television knows that you don't last 7 years in television unless you got a really good combination. And I feel like we got a really good combination, and that combination has nothing to do with motorcycles. You believe that? It's a car
Oh
show.
wow!
It's the world's largest car show. And all of us as enthusiasts, motorcycle riders, car owners alike, we all like go fast stuff. We all like hand built stuff. So the car world out there right now is just going crazy. So yesterday we were filming all the openings for season 7, and in July and in May, season 7 will kick off on Motor Trend, which used to be Velocity a while ago, and Motor Trend has all the Mecum auctions, and they have all the Barrett auctions, everything on it. So we got a really good slot. We had prime time last year on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. We came on 8 and 11 on Tuesday nights on NBC Sports. You don't get no bigger than that.
Well, we on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock right now, baby. And I got you. I got my man Rickey G out here. Man, I got a few questions I just want to ask you. I always want to know what inspired you to become a motorcycle racer, and how did you get started in the sport? I mean, I've been knowing you since early mid '90s personally myself, seeing you race funny bikes. I think my first introduction to you was racing funny bikes. I mean, what inspired you to become a racer? How did you get started in this game, Rickey?
It's kind of funny because I what the life that I'm living right now, I never, it's not like people say, oh man, I dreamed of being a professional motorcycle racer. I dreamed of, no, that wasn't me because it had never happened before. So it made me think that nobody ever thought it was possible. An African American, a black dude from Southwest Philadelphia, you don't have no thoughts of being the first professional motorcycle drag racer sponsored by a manufacturer. Like, it hadn't happened before. So that wasn't a dream of mine. I just loved motorcycles. Like, my mom and dad, they go way back in the motorcycle world. My father rode for like 25 years. My mom rode on the back with him all through the 50s and the 60s and stuff. And in the 70s, she got her own bike. So we were just a motorcycle riding family. My brother was one of the baddest men in the world on a motorcycle. And I'm talking about stunt riding. My father was a stunt rider, was a street racer. Nobody had turned it into a profession. So it wasn't like I'm like, yeah, I want to be like my dad. I want to be a professional racer. No, that didn't happen. My dad was just the best at what he did. My brother took it another step further and was the baddest on two wheels. Wheeling, my brother could wheelie around corners. You know what I'm saying? My father could stand up on the seat of a motorcycle and then jump off the back of it, let him drag him, and then pick himself back up, get on the seat, and then do figure eights and O's. Like, that was just the type of riders they were. So I just grew up in motorcycles, and it kind of took me off of the streets because all I wanted to do was ride with my mom and dad. We rode 3-up and everywhere, all kinds of motorcycle events. So while my friends were hanging around in Southwest Philadelphia, just trying to find things to do on Sundays, on weekends, we were out. We were in Fort Meade, Maryland at the dirt drags, and my dad got me started with a 5-horsepower mini bike at 5 years old. We used to go to Fort Meade. We used to go to Oak Grove, Virginia. We used to go to Spotsylvania, Virginia. And I was just talking to Larry McBride last week. I was at his shop, and I saw a picture of Larry dirt drag racing. And believe it or not, he started in the dirt with a 500cc triple, right? And I said, Larry, are you kidding me? You started in dirt drag? So did I. So I said, Larry, you ever been to Fort Meade? He said, nah. I said, you ever been to Oak Grove, Virginia? Oh, Oak Grove? Oh, yeah. We used to dirt drag in Oak Grove. I said, what year are we talking? Oh, in the 70s. And I said, Larry, I was there. I was a kid. How about Spotsylvania? Oh, yeah, we raced in Spotsylvania. You was in Spotsylvania? Dude, it's so crazy because the legend, the man himself, the fastest man in the world, Larry McBride, who is like my brother now, but Larry's way older than me. I was a kid. We were at the same place at the time doing the same thing. So we both started in the dirt, and the crazy part about it is I lived in Southwest Philadelphia, and there was no dirt to ride in. I was riding in the schoolyard. I was riding up the driveway. I was learning to wheelie in driveways. But every weekend we would go Maryland, Virginia, whatever. But it took me off the streets, man. It was my passion. It was never my dream to be a professional racer.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. I never would have imagined that you started with dirt drag, but I've heard a lot of people that I've spoken to recently that say that they started dirt drag racing, not in the dirt, legit in the dirt. So with all of that history, what is your favorite racing memory of your racing career, and how does it stand out to you? I mean, I know that when you started, when you as a youth, I know that would be a significant situation, but you've elevated so much since those days of your younger years, and even from the time that I've seen you, you've been a corporate racer. You continue to ride your own bike, your own team bikes. But what is that memory, that big memory that just stands out that you just like, dang, I can't believe I made that happen right there? What's that memory?
it's really hard, Hollywood. I'm gonna tell you because when we go from I've been in many countries and raced in other countries that no one's. I'm the fastest man in Africa, India, Trinidad. So those are memories that you never forget. I got invited to the Mandela home. I raced in South Africa, became the fastest man on two wheels in South Africa, and I got invited by Winnie to the Mandela home. So to sit there and talk with Winnie Mandela about apartheid and all that stuff with Nelson's picture in the background, and I got to meet Zanani, which is Nelson's daughter, the princess. Like, it's a lot that to be one particular thing. I just would have to say it would be signing that. I was a contractor, a cable TV contractor, and the day I signed the contract with Kawasaki in the restaurant, when John Hoover whipped out the briefcase and said, "What is it that you always wanted to do?" And he whipped out the briefcase and a pen and pulled out a contract. After 3 years of being close to Kawasaki, having my foot in the door, but being told it was never going to happen because the Japanese don't understand drag racing. It's not important. So road racing, they understand. Dirt bikes, they understand. Drag racing, and then you're black. And John Hoover, man, I love him like he took me under his wing like I was a son. And this was the whitest man you ever seen. So you would never think that he would love me the way he did, but he didn't give a damn. He took and told me that don't give up your day job. We're gonna do what we can do on this end, but the Japanese, I don't think it's gonna happen. 3 years later, with Hoover helping me, I looked like I was playing the part. He was giving me money under the table to get Kawasaki leathers, to paint my trailer like in Kawasaki factory colors. He made sure, because he was in control of the marketing budget, he saw value in street bikes. So he gave me a 750 super bike, a 750 to turn into a super bike. Let's see how that goes. I turned it into a championship bike. I won the championship 3 years straight with the motorcycle that he gave me. Killed the class with that bike. So he just really literally took me under his wing and took a marketing budget and created an underground team that wasn't backed by Kawasaki, but I looked like I was backed by Kawasaki. So I was playing the role, and people thought I had a contract before I actually did.
So when at the MotoGP, there was a big billboard of you on that billboard. Tell us a little bit about that picture. I think we have a shot of that back in the background. Tell me about that, because when I looked at that earlier, it looked like there was a person standing down there by the front wheel, and that thing has to be, if he's 6 feet tall, his arm up, that's 9 feet. I'm looking at least a 50 foot, like billboard by like 100 feet wide, it looks like, and it has the world champion Rickey Gadson on there. I mean, that has to feel great right there to walk up and see that on the bleachers. I mean, I would be stoked to see my photo like that right there.
What you don't understand about that, Hollywood, what you just said is an understatement, because see, I was sponsored by Joe Rocket, and then the guy who started Joe Rocket, he sold Joe Rocket and then started Speed and Strength. I went with Bruce Parker with Speed and Strength, and Bruce loved me, like literally loved me like a son. Just like John Hoover loved me, Bruce Parker believed in me and he loved me. I'm the only drag racer ever they made those leathers right there. Speed and Strength was the first ones that made off-the-shelf drag racing leathers, which were those right there. That billboard is 200 by 100 and 200 by 150 or something like that. The person at the bottom of the front wheel is Brock Davison. You see how little he looks?
Brock performance. Yeah.
This was at a MotoGP race in Indianapolis. Every year, the MotoGP motorcycles race in Indianapolis in August, and basically at a MotoGP race, I had the biggest billboard of anybody there. And I'm a black kid from Southwest Philly and a motorcycle drag racing, like a triple minority.
Wow. Hold that thought. We're going to go pay a few bills. Come back. I got a couple more questions I want to ask you. And, man, I'm having a great time. I've learned so much in the last 15 minutes of you, man. It's crazy. But we'll be right back. More Rickey Gadson to come.
Jump into the action. Watch Hollywood Drag Racing Live TV now.
All right, Rick, we back. So you've had so many things going on, so much going on with racing, so many things going on outside of racing that pertains to racing with the filming and so forth. How do you balance your racing career with the other aspects of your life? I mean, like you said just a minute ago, the man told you not to quit your day job, and quite naturally you have family. But how do you balance? What's your method of balancing all of that, at the same time? How do you do that?
Well, you know what, Hollywood? So I feel like at this point, I've won 12 championships. I've been all over the country. I'm probably one of the only racers that's been all in all these other countries and set records. And I've gotten to enjoy the fruits of being the celebrity that racing has made me. So at this point, to be honest with you, I'm just having fun because my career, I had 18 years with Kawasaki. They blessed me with 18 years being involved with one of the biggest motorcycle manufacturers there were. Matter of fact, I was a consultant. I've helped design the H2. Not design it. I'm sorry. I don't want to say that. I helped make the H2 better. I saw the very first one in clay. Took Kobe Adams with me. We went over the whole bike, told them the things that I think they need to change, and then they built me the first H2R ever, and I had the bike almost a year before they ever even came out, and I had to do secret testing with these. It's all the way back from the ZX12. I had the first ZX12, I had the first ZX14, all these top secret projects. Only one ever seen these bikes. So from there, where I'm at right now, I'm just enjoying racing because I've done everything there is to. I feel like I've done everything there is to do. What do I do? Win a 13th championship? What's
not?
The relevant?
Yeah, why not? But let me ask you a question. So, have you always been a Cowman, a Kawasaki, or had you been in other motorcycle brands prior to, or or what just led you straight to the Kawasaki? Was the business part that led you there? But how did that go? I mean, how did that all take place?
Let me tell you how that went. First motorcycle I had was my dad's Kawasaki KZ1300. That was my first street bike. My dad died on it in '79. My mom gave it to me in '82. And then when that blew up from me racing it, and you ain't supposed to race no big 6-cylinder Kawasaki, my mom was like, if that's what you want to do, you need to get a bike that you can drag race with, So I said, I had her blessing. So since I had her blessing, I went and found the baddest AA super stock CB1100F, because in 1983, every OEM came out with the baddest motorcycle they ever came out with. I had an FJ1100. I had a CB1100F. I had a GPZ1100. I had a GPZ 750 Turbo. I had a GS 1150 Suzuki.
You had everything.
I was a bike, and basically once I got into racing, everything I raced, I started in Kawasaki's with the KZ 900s on the street, and then when they put me on Zooks, I killed. I went around the whole country winning a lot of money on the street on 1150, a GSX-R, 1100. So Suzuki was it. We used to talk trash to people that had Kawasaki's, Hollywood. You believe that? Matter of fact, one of my rivals in the street in Daytona, in the Cabbage Patch, Biffalo, all of them was Black Cat. You remember Black Cat
Yeah,
from
Alpha
Atlanta?
Ford. Yeah, Alpha
Alta,
Ford.
Alta
Yeah,
Ford. Alta
yeah.
Ford was, boy, he was Kawasaki lover. Him and Kenny Williams. Kenny Williams, who of course still around making the carbon fiber bodies and stuff like that. Kenny Williams used to ride for Black Cat. Boy, we talk so much on YouTube. If you key in Rickey Gadson, 17-year-old Rickey Gadson talking trash, you'll see all the old videos of me and Black Cat in Daytona and my brother Skip. But Black Cat had one of the baddest GPZ 1100 Pro Street bikes with a car tire on it, with the baddest paint job you ever saw. Boy, we talked so much trash to him. He had nitrous and everything. We had an all-motor GS 1100 car tire Pro Street bike that we didn't care nothing about. He was like, you got to kill Kawasaki. Where do you think you go Kawasaki? And then look at me now. You know, but no, I was in the Suzuki. Matter of fact, Hollywood, when I turned pro, we bought this bike from Dennis Strickland, went out and set the record on the very first run. When we bought it from him, he was the world champion at the time. The very first run as a professional, I set the record. I broke the record, then set the record, then set the mile-an-hour record, then won the race, then won the next 4 races on that bike. And then the next year, we bought the funny bike. We put this motor from this bike, funny bike. So it was all Suzukis. Then I raced Pro Stock, NHRA Pro Stock, all Suzukis. So of this page, we got 3 Suzukis and 1 lone Kawasaki. But that Kawasaki paid the bills and gave me the best life I could imagine living.
That's crazy. So with all that information, what advice do you have for younger riders who are just starting out in the competitive motorcycle drag racing? You know, what advice would you give them, the ones who are just starting? I mean, you used to have, you did a school for quite a while where you taught a lot of people how to ride motorcycles. I mean, you really taught them how to race motorcycles. But, you know, what advice would you give them? Because now we have a lot of kids that are still street racing, obviously. You know, that's just a culture thing, and people, you know, eventually grow out of that. But what advice do you have for the ones who want to get in our sport and drag race?
You know, people always ask me, like, you know, how'd you get to where you are? And man, is it too late? Like, I want to get into racing, but I want to be pro. Like, you know, how do I get recognized? How do I get sponsored? And you know, that's the hardest question in the world to answer, because I no longer go for sponsorships, because I know what it takes now. Like, I know that whole business. I know you know, the ROR, you know, every sponsor is looking for a return on their investment, and the return on the investment has to be 3 times greater than what they put out. So I know that right now, with budgets and drag racing being the minority and there being no print media, you know, the worst thing that ever happened to drag racing is that, you know, we had some television coverage, we had plenty print media.
We freeze it up over here.
Huh? Okay, so we go all the way back to the Pro Star Report. We go all the way back to Street and Strip. We go back to Cycle World magazines. Like, we had print media, right?
Right.
So if you these things, you know, you could show your family, you could show your friends, hey man, look what I did, right? You could show you, more important than that, you could take this to your sponsors and go, look, I've been on every magazine cover there is, every nationally publicized magazine cover. That means a lot. But now there's no print media, there's no television coverage. So when they ask me basically, how do I get sponsored? That's one of the hardest questions there is to answer. But what I will tell you is, like I told my nephew Richard is one of the greatest. Like, he is me on steroids when I was his age. Like, Richard is the best there is to me out there. So, and I've always told Richard, you race from the position that I got, especially when you're not known. When you're not known, you got everything to gain and nothing to lose. You know why? Because if you go up against Richard Gadson, you go up against Rickey Gadson, if you lose, you were supposed to lose. Like, nobody expected you to beat them, right? But if you are nobody or your name is not known and you beat a Richard Gadson or a Jeremy Teasley or a Joey Gladstone, all of a sudden you went from a nobody to somebody. And I'll tell people that you got to go out and do something that no one's ever did before. You got to work on it, create the budget, whatever you got to do. You got to beat somebody who is somebody to be recognized, and it starts there.
Right. So what are your goals for your future racing career, and what's your plans on how to achieve them? I mean, you say you're not really going after the marketing budgets, the sponsorships, because that's just not where you are at this point in your life. But what are your goals for the future, your racing career, and how you plan to get there?
You know what, Hollywood? My goal at this point now, my business is first, and more important than that, hosting. I'm looking at. We're working on my own TV show. I'm the host of this TV show, but television is number one right now, and my trucks, my business. Racing is an outlet for me at this point because I've made money. I've made a life, a living. I've everything I have is because of racing. So racing to me right now is fun. Long as it ain't stressful, long as I'm still relevant and it matters when I go up to the starting line and people running to see how fast I'm going to go this time, I'm going to keep doing it. But when I start having fun or when it doesn't matter when I go down the racetrack because I'm losing, I'm out. I'm not going to continue to do that. So at this point, it's about me and my family going to the races and enjoying racing, being together and racing together. Other than that, I got nothing racing.
So what are the two trophies that's right there in front of you, man? Because I've been asking that.
Yes. What is that?
What are those two trophies right there? Those are special. I've never seen those two. I've seen your XDA trophies. What are those two right there? Because that's some special looking trophies right there.
Yeah.
This right here, for people who haven't been in the game long enough to know who this is, ask Larry McBride who this is. This is the Elmer Trett Mountain Magic Award. And I got this for being Pro Rider of the Year. I won Pro Racer of the Year, Pro Rider of the Year, Pro Rookie of the Year, and World Championship all in 1 year. I got the Elmer Trett Award for doing like in basketball when you have a triple double, right? It had never done before by a rookie. So I won the Elmer Trett Award. And matter of fact, I have two of them. And Larry McBride told me in his shop last week that there's only 4 or 5 of these that exist, period, from the AMA racing days. And I have 2 of them. So that would have probably my most cherished out of all these marble monuments and everything. I would say that these 2 Elmer Trett Awards mean the most to me because Elmer Trett was absolute icon in the sport, and there's only 4 or 5 of them ever existed, and I have 2 of them right here in my existence, in my possession.
Man, you know, I have really enjoyed this interview with you, man. I've learned so much in such a short period of time. It's amazing how quickly 30 minutes go by. But I really appreciate having you on. I really look forward to seeing you again this season. You know, we were always dapped it up in the pits, and I enjoy your companionship as a friend. And I seen Twin down at Gainesville. I asked about you down there as well. But, man, it's been a pleasure, Rick, to have you on here again. Looking forward to seeing you at some of these races coming up. We're going to go pay some bills right quick. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to give everybody a little heads up on what's coming up for our next coming race. And once again, Ricky, I really appreciate you being on for us on the Man Cup Live, and look forward to seeing you at XDA races, Man Cup races, wherever I get to see you this season. And I'm going to be dead over in that pit hollering at you, all right? Thank you so much for being on.
And look for me to go 200 on a real street bike. That's my goal.
We're going to see it, but we're going to be able to see that. Well, Vernon, thank you again, Ricky, for being on. We're going to go pay these last little set of bills here. I'm going to come back and give y'all a little press release for the Man Cup Spring Fling, and we're going to cut out of here for the day. All right, Man Cup racers, we're going to have the Spring Fling fans and Man Cup racers alike. The Spring Fling is coming to South Georgia Motorsport Park on April 14th through the 16th of this year, 2023. This exciting event is a must-attend for motorcycle enthusiasts and race fans alike. Take place at one of the premier motorsport parks, South Georgia Motorsport Park. The Man Cup MTC Spring Fling promises to be an unforgettable weekend for all of y'all who attend, featuring thrilling motorcycle drag racing. And don't forget, we have a motorcycle show that will showcase some of the best bikes around. This event is sure to attract more fans and families than ever before, with something for everyone to enjoy. The MTC Spring Fling is a must-see event for motorcycle enthusiasts and fans alike. South Georgia Motorsport Park is the perfect venue for this event, with the state-of-the-art facilities and top-notch amenities. Attendees will have access to all the comforts that they want, including great food, cold drinks, and plenty of excitement. We'll have the bouncy houses there, DJ there. So don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to witness the best motorcycle drag racing and some of the most impressive bikes around. Come join the fun at the MTC Spring Fling at South Georgia Motorsport Park. And for you racers, we got our decals ready for y'all bikes this year. Already ready? Oh, let me get these on the string. There we go. There we get over. This is the bike logos that we'll have on the bikes this year, both sides, to represent the Manufacturers Cup. We also have our test and tune decals as well. These will be test and tuned in red. I have our blue ones for our tech cards. And don't forget, after the Spring Fling, we'll be heading our way to the J2 Connect Rumble at the Rock in Rockingham Dragway, which take place May 19th through the 21st, presented by the African Americans Racers Association. Don't forget, hit the website, hit the tickets, go buy your tickets. We are reducing the tech card process for you to make it a little easier for you all to get signed up and registered. For y'all who already done it, no need to go back and change anything. We'll get you all in the system. We appreciate you all for being on again tonight. And like I said earlier, we want to thank our sponsors of the Manufacturers Cup, who's helped footing the bill for us to get out here and give you this great entertainment of motorcycle drag racing. And next week, I'm going to have another exciting guest for you. So make sure you look on the Man Cup Facebook Racers Group page to see who we're going to have coming for you. I got a very special guest in mind, so look for that information. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank Rickey Gadson for giving us his time after all this driving he's been doing for these last few days to get on there to give us a preview of who he is. For you all who don't know him, for the ones who do know him, now you get a little bit more history from the man himself. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all sharing this time with us. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Peace. Hollywood Drag Racing.